I wanted to first start, if you could give us a quick recap of how you guys got started.
Okay. All right, Jess, you want to take that?
Sure. We started a couple of years ago. We were asked to play an event that was at a hair salon, believe it or not, and it was at a big gallery hop here in Columbus. And so we ventured into the cold, and we went and played among a lot of sinks and hair chairs and dryers and food and people walking the streets enjoying the holiday. And we were in there amidst all the hairdressing paraphernalia playing our sets. And so it was pretty much, we had talked about it before that. We talked about going out alone together because we had played with other people and together with others, but that was really the first time was at a hair salon, and it's been pretty crazy ever since.
Did you start out meshing really well as far as your musical styles and preferences, or is this something that you've had to really, it was more of a give and take over the years?
Well, let me just say that I was already pretty invested in jazz music, and Michael has always had a real attraction to Sinatra and Dean Martin and Julie London. Oh my God, with the Julie London. And so that piece came together easily for us. It just seemed like it was a natural fit. The hardest part is getting everything done and having him still work a regular 9-to-5 job, and us getting everything out there into the world promotion-wise and getting projects, completed, and being able to gig as much as we are. I mean, we play at least 10, sometimes as many as 20 times a month. So with a regular job, that's a little challenging.
What's your creative process like? Do you usually work on music and words separately? Do you work on them together? Does one of you do the music and the other one does the words? What's your creative process like?
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Well, when we're doing jazz standards and swing standards, we'll look for a song that we want to play, and then we'll build an arrangement out of that, the particular song. Besides actually choosing the key, we'll look at the song and decide how it's going to play out in terms of the order of the verses and the bridge and everything that's connected with the construction of the song, and that's something that Jessie and I work on together. The original work is written by Jessie specifically. She writes the words and the music, and then we take that particular song and work on the arrangements together from that point on.
Is A Wish for a Moment the song, the video for which we have on our MamaPlooza website and we'll be placing on our other sites as well? Is that your first original holiday song that you've done?
Yeah, it is. It is the first original holiday song. I was asked by MamaPalooza a few months ago if I could put something together that would work for the holidays, and I'd been working on some original music for a couple of years, and I thought that it was very interesting to be given a specific assignment and have to fulfill that within a certain amount of time. And so I just, I sat down and did that with that sort of, we're ex-college professors, so to us, we give assignments and we take assignments. And so it was, I tried to treat it like that, and I wanted to create something that had sort of a lullaby quality that swung. So that's really the parameters that I worked with.
What was your inspiration for the song?
Well, I was thinking about all the small creatures in the world that look in on people enjoying their holidays. And there's this great quote from Earl Hamner, the guy who wrote The Waltons. And it's about, I know this sounds very Pollyanna-ish, but there's this, it's very touching, and he says that he uses the word home, and he says that only a creature that didn't have one could know the beauty of the sound of that word. And that just kind of buzzed around in my brain. And I also was thinking, if I were going to write a song for Joni Mitchell, what would that sound like? I know that kind of sounds odd considering Joni Mitchell writes songs for everybody else, but I thought those two things. I thought about that quote about home, and I thought about Joni Mitchell, and so that's kind of where it came from.
Did you find that there was a special kind of challenge in writing a song specifically for the holidays? As opposed to writing, your typical songwriting that you do?
Yes, I did feel that it was, the challenge was very specific because, first of all, what is out there already as holiday standard music it's pretty much a complete songbook. You have to bring something new to the table, presumably, because it's already been done so well. I mean, Mel Torme pretty much just covered it in one song. So, you wanna bring something that will be maybe interesting for someone else to sing, or maybe become its own standard. And it was important to me that besides not being redundant in the sentiment, that it also not be saccharine.
Now, I noticed from your website, reading your bios, some of the other interviews that you've done, that some of the music that you perform goes back as far as the early 20th century. Some of the material is from the 20s, and standards like Peggy Lee, Cole Porter, Judy Garland. What kind of themes do you notice in music that really transcend time, that they were popular then, that makes them still popular now?
That's a good question. I think there's a quality to the writing, to the what we would call a jazz or a swing standard that makes it timeless. It speaks to a certain feeling that you get when you listen to the song. It helps you think of a certain time. There's a romantic quality to these specific songs that we choose. And it really helps to be invested in the life, an interest in the life of the composer or the artist, and have a real understanding of perhaps what they were working with when they created the song. So when we choose our songs, we really try to invest ourselves in what the particular artist was working with at the time. And that helps us to make some real specific choices about the arrangements that we come up with.
I think some of the first music that babies get is when their moms sing to them. And I think most people feel pretty comfortable singing to babies and young children. What to you is the most enduring part about music, especially music that's passed down through generations, either through standards or just your common, ordinary nursery rhymes or songs that a mother would sing to a young child?
Well, I think that there's a necessity in terms of the quality of rhythm, especially when singing to a child, because you want it to have almost a heartbeat effect. You want it to, that's what that sing-songy rhythm typically, I think, is based upon, is that heartbeat and that slowing, so that you can actually get them to fall asleep, or you can at least soothe them. Also, it's important when working with children and melody and lyrics that there be a repetitive nature, which interestingly has almost a call and response quality to it, where the child can then pick it up and remember it time after time after time, kind of in the same way they do with a storybook that they want read over and over again, and it has in some ways the same kind of punchline over and over again, and it becomes this very familiar, repetitive little bit of language. And when you have that kind of repetition and a kid can recite it or repeat it or sing it, it makes them feel like they have some control over their environment, which, as we know, that's what everybody wants, and little ones aren't any different.
Yeah, we have a real connection to children when they see us play. They're some of our biggest audiences. They really like the music, and I think they like the fact that the ukulele that I play is kind of a smaller instrument. Maybe it's less threatening to them, and they have a really good time when we play in public for them.
We see a lot of dancing.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, when I played, when I wished for a moment on my computer sitting here in my kitchen, my 2-year-old came racing in from the other room because he had to see what was going on. And he sat here and he watched the whole 5-minute video. It was pretty amazing.
I love that.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your new CD, Phantom Heart?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Phantom Heart is a CD that has 7 tracks, 5 of which are what we would call jazz or swing standards, and 2 are original songs that Jesse wrote. And it's actually a concept album. We decided that when we were choosing the selections for the CD that the songs would relate to one another. Besides the fact that they're all from the earliest part of the century, there would be a through line, sort of a flow of feeling that moves you from one song to the next, and which is one of the reasons why we chose to start the CD sort of with this scratchy kind of needle drop of an old Victrola as we move into more contemporary sounding track, and then back again towards the end of the CD, kind of bracketing the whole thing, and we think it worked quite well.
Do you guys do a lot of traveling when you play? Like, are you pretty much local to your Columbus area, or do you get the chance to travel, out of town, out of state, and different festivals and places?
Well, for the first year, it was all pretty much local, but then in the second year, it started to pick up like a snowball, frankly. And we started to play a little bit more regionally, and then we started leaving the state and playing different kinds of music festivals and special events and restaurants that were out of the area, and clubs. And now this year, that's really our focus, is to still maintain local connections to some of the places that we really, really enjoy being at and the audiences that we love here, but really spreading our wings and getting out there into Nashville, Chicago, New York, much further away, taking longer periods and playing our way to the places and then playing our way back.
Well, it sounds like you guys are well on your way. The music is great, and you guys are great to talk to. And that pretty much wraps up my questions.
All right.
So,
well, thank you, Amy. That's very sweet.
Thank you so much. It's been a great experience working with you, and really, your music is terrific, so we wish you all the best, and I can't wait to share this with our readers. It's going to be really, really terrific.
All right, wonderful. Thank you
Amy.
so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you.